Hi everyone, this notes are again on circles and we will cover central angles and inscribed angles, okay? An inscribed angle is an angle that has the vertex on the edge of the circle, okay? So that's what we need to know about, that's how we can tell if an angle is an inscribed angle. So the measure of the inscribed angle is equal to 1/2 the measure of the arc it intersects. Let's take, for instance, example 1. Notice that this angle is the inscribed angle and the measure of that angle is x degrees. We know that this is the arc this angle intersects, okay? So that means this angle is half the measure of the arc, and as we know, half of 48 is 24 degrees. So x equals 1/2 of 48. So that's how we found x equals 24. And all we're doing is we're following this formula here. Okay? So as you can see, this is very straightforward. That's 24 degrees. Well, what if we're given the inscribed angle and we're asked to find the measure of the arc? Okay? Well, in this case, we do the opposite. So if this is 34, if the inscribed angle is 34, then that means that this one here is twice the value of the inscribed angle. Okay? So that means 32, and we just multiply that by 2, and we get the arc. So x equals 64 degrees, and there is our answer. Okay, now let's go down to the next problems. And let's pay attention to this, to what we're given in this case. They're saying that this angle is 90, this is 85, and this is angle x, and they want us to find this angle. Now, since this angle is 90, this angle is an inscribed angle. So notice that if this is 90, then that means that this arc is twice the measure of that angle. So that makes this arc 180 degrees. Okay? Now, if this arc is 180, that means it is half a circle, because in a circle, as you know, it's we have 360 degrees if we do a full rotation. So if this is 180, then that's half, which leaves half for this one here. So that means this arc is also 180 degrees. Now, since this is the arc, that this angle, this inscribed angle, creates, okay, then given that this is 180, I hope you can see that this is half of that arc, so that that angle is 90 degrees. What if we have algebra? And you might think, well, you know, I have a hard time with algebra, but again, this is quite simple. You use the same formula. So the first thing we need to find is the measure of this arc. We're given that this arc here is 140, and this arc here is 110. Now, 140 and 110, if we put them together, that gives us so 140 plus 110, that gives us 250. And we know in a circle we have 360 degrees, so that means 360 minus 250, that leaves for this arc 110 degrees. So now we know this is the inscribed angle, and this one equals half. This angle equals half the measure of this arc. So we know that, I hope you realize that we have 8x minus 9 equals half of this. So half of 110 is 55. We're solving for x, so we add 9 to both sides, and we get 8x equals 64. So then to find our answer, we just divide by 8 on both sides. So the value of x is, yes, 8. And that is how we answer that question, okay? So as you can see, this is something that we can do even if we have some algebra involved. It's possible to do it. If you understand the formula says that the measure of the inscribed angle is equal to 1/2 the measure of the arc it intersects. And also, if you're given the angle, the inscribed angle, and you need to find the arc, the measure of the arc it intersects, then the measure of the arc is equal to 2 times the measure of the inscribed angle. Okay, that's a bunch of words, but I hope you understand the formula. Okay, if you understand the formula, this shouldn't be difficult at all. So now let's go down to central angles. Okay. Now for central angles, notice the definition. The vertex of a central angle is at the center of the circle. So this is the vertex of the angle, and this is the angle that is created. Okay, so there's the central angle. Now this one is right there, so the measure of the central angle is equal to the measure of the arc. In other words, if this angle is 40, well, what about the measure of this arc, given that this is the central angle? The formula says that they're equal, so if this one is 40, guess what this one is? I guess, yeah, you got it. So this is x equals 40 degrees. So the arc is also 40 degrees. Okay? So that's, as you can see, that example is very straightforward. What if we're given something like this and we're being told that BE, so that means this segment here, and CF, that means this segment here, are diameters, and they want us to find the missing arcs and the missing angles. Okay, so the way we do that is we have to understand what these symbols mean. That this symbol and that symbol means that these two angles are congruent. These two angles are congruent, and they're central angles. So if this is 50, then this one is also 50. Okay, now given that CF is a diameter, this is 100, this is 50, so what's left for this angle here? Since it's a diameter, it cuts the circle in half. And as you know, in a circle we have 360 degrees, so half of it is 180. There's 100, there's 50, so what's the measure of this angle? So that's 180 minus 150, that I hope you remember, that's 30 degrees. Okay, now again, we have to use the fact that this is also, this one here, BE, is given also as a diameter. If this is 30 and this is 50, what is the measure of this angle? And I hope again you understand this is diameter, so this is half a circle, so all these three angles have to add up to 180. If this one is 30 and this one is 50, that means we have 100 degrees left for this central angle here. Okay? Again, let's use the fact. This is a diameter, so these three angles, this angle, and that angle, have to add up to 180. This one is 50, this one is 100, so that means that this one is what's left of 180 when we subtract the sum of this angle and this angle here. So I hope you know that this is 30 degrees. Now, since the measure of the central angle is equal to the measure of the arc, now we can write down the measure of each one of these arcs. Okay, so this arc is 30, this arc here is 30. I'm sorry, this central angle is 30. That means this arc is also 30. Okay. This is 100. This is 50. This is 30. This is 50. And this is 100. As you can see, this is very straightforward. I hope that didn't give you any hard time, and I hope you understand the assignment. Okay? Well, see you next time.